Good morning, listeners, and welcome back to the Internet Marketing and Business Solutions Radio Show with Ron Couming of RCS Technology Solutions, where we help business owners and entrepreneurs achieve even greater success by attracting, converting, and retaining their ideal customers and clients using various Internet marketing techniques and methods to help them make their dreams come true and serve the people who need them the most. The purpose of this show is to bring on subject matter experts from various fields and throughout the country to help business owners and entrepreneurs learn different ways to navigate, because these business owners have already been there and done that. So they've had the ups and downs, and by listening to their stories, what they've done to overcome some of their trials and tribulations can hopefully help you, A, avoid them, and B, get through them if you can avoid them. And then also listen to the services they provide and how they may be able to help you and how you could possibly work with them. So today we have a rare treat. We have two guests at the same time. I've been doing this show almost 2 years now, and I think this is the first time, except my first episode, when the owner, Sam, and Cami Baker came on my very first episode way back when. I was so nervous, I actually asked Sam, the station owner, to come on and make sure I didn't mess up, and he did, and he was very helpful and very supportive. Now, Cami Baker is back. Cami Baker is one of our two guests today, and Cami Baker is the co-host of the Happiness Jungle TV show and is the author of Mingle to Millions, and a sought-after international speaker that engages her audience in ways to create quality connections, giving them strategies to master the art of building business relationship and mastering referrals. Our second guest is Lyn-Dee Eldridge, and she is a CHO, which you may not have heard before, but CHO stands for Chief Happiness Officer. And she is the founder of the Happiness Jungle, an author, keynote speaker, humorist, entertainer, certified co-creator, producer, and TV personality of the Happiness Jungle TV show. Ladies, how are you today?
Fantastic. Hello, good morning.
I am fabulous, by the way, and on fire. And my God, Ron, you have two powerful women on for your first go at this three-way thing. So congratulations for stepping up to this challenge.
Excellent. Now, and this just goes to show you the power of technology. Cami, if I'm correct, you're in New Hampshire, and Lynn, you're in Florida. Lyn-Dee, rather, you're in Florida?
That is correct.
Yep, and I was just telling her that it is so beautiful here today. She has no idea how grateful she should be for that beautiful weather that she's having in Florida, because we're finally seeing the sun here.
Yep, I was going to shoot to Miami Beach for a week, but then I saw that we got 60s and 70s this week, so I figured I'd stick around. But so, ladies, I don't think the listeners want to hear about our weather, but we up here are certainly happy it's finally breaking. So tell us, Lynn, as the founder, we'll start with you, please, as the founder of Cheap Happiness. And just so the listeners understand, right, there's many different facets to being successful in business and in life. And oftentimes in your business life can be so stressful that it just, how you're dealing with your customers and clients is affected in such a way that it's negative, and people might not want to work with you because of it, but then it spills over into your private life. So understanding how to navigate those and injecting some happiness and different ways to handle stresses is super important in business as it is in life. So, Lynn, as the Chief Happiness Officer, can you tell us a little bit about your business and how it helps both business owners and entrepreneurs in business and in their personal life?
Sure. Thank you so much. And number one, I love to start off a happy note and let everybody know that my name is Lyn-Dee. So that's the first thing that you want to do to make sure that you always are in a happy environment, that people are calling you who you are. So let's make sure that you are very, very specific with saying your name is Lyn-Dee. So, Ron, I love you, and I appreciate you so much. Many, many people call me Lynn because there's a dash in my name. But the first thing that you always want to do is hold your posture and make sure that your presence is always contagious. So, Ron, I want to say, number one, thank you so much for coming into my life. It's already been probably about 2 years, if not 3 years, that we have shared the space at different venues, at different events. And one of the things that I really strive for that creates the happiness within me, creates the power for me to be successful in my business world and even in my personal world, is that I always surround myself with people that I enjoy and I could learn from. So that's a pretty good tip, right? Just being able to authentically be you, but always realizing that the one thing in life you have to be is flexible. This is the year of the cookies. No question about it. And I'm all about how to help people maintain a positive, productive posture while their cookies are crumbling. And that doesn't always have to be bad. It just means that things in our lives are always going to happen. It's a matter of you learning how to be flexible, open to change, and being able to, again, create that wonderful posture because you love the shell that you're in and you love the environments where you are, and everything around you is collectively and spiritually lifting you up. So that's one of the things that I love to share. And I get to, I can't believe you're right. I'm in Florida. Y'all are in New Hampshire. And I am literally connected to you, no matter how. Cami and I, we are absolutely connected spiritually in business as well as enjoying a friendship. So whenever we are at any kind of an event, we're excitedly happy, not ridiculously childish happy, but childlike happy, which means that we're always enjoying our time together, whether it be thousands of miles apart. Just like with you, Ron, we're able to engage right now, and we're thousands of miles apart, but because of social media, we're able to really take advantage of that, acknowledge it, and give it the worth that it deserves. So one of the things that you need to always do, as I share, is make sure you're surrounding yourself with people that inspire you, make you feel good. And right now, just being on this airway with the both of you, I am telling you, I am ecstatically happy. I couldn't be any happier. So I want to say thank you very much for you and Cami instilling in me the energy that I desire to be around. So that's tip number one. Be around who you want to collaborate with. Cami, what do you think?
I think that's awesome. And, the fact that you talk about maintaining a positive, productive posture while your cookies are crumbling, I know that Lyn-Dee will share with us a little bit more about what that means to have your cookies crumble. But for me, with Mingle to Millions, talking to people about their posture, their packaging, their presence, their positioning in the marketplace, which also feeds over into our personal life as well. So when we're an entrepreneur, we want to make sure that how are we being seen? How are we being seen by our personal people and our business people? And that's why Lyn-Dee and I, when we come together, we create this energy. It is a way of being seen in the marketplace that is positive and it's productive and it's packaged. And it's so important to keep with the people that make you feel that way. So I just want to piggyback on your point, Lyn-Dee, that, the way that I say it is, change your playgrounds and playmates. What playground are you playing on and what playmates are you playing with? If they don't inspire you, uplift you, make you feel good and happy, then don't hang out with them.
I love it. And there's a couple of sayings, too. Like, one, if you're the smartest person, you're in the wrong room. So you also want to position yourself with people who are thought leaders in whatever field you're in. Surround yourself with people who are in similar fields, but playing at a much higher level, and seek to serve, not to sell.
Well, and I'd actually like to piggyback on that a little bit too, Ron, because one of the reasons we're on today together is between Lyn-Dee and I, we've had about 100 people on the Happiness Jungle TV show. And anyone who's on the Happiness Jungle TV show, as you can imagine, has got to be happy. They have got to be inspiring. We've had movers and shakers and authors and trainers and speakers and just, visionaries and entrepreneurs that are forward thinking. and we're getting ready to have a appreciation gathering for them. And one of the reasons we're having the guest appreciation gathering is because we want to surround ourselves with 75 of the most uplifting, inspirational people that we've met and spent time with. So, you know, if you're thinking to yourself, well, gosh, I don't know if everybody around me is uplifting and I'm not really sure how to find them, boy, we just create it. And when I told Lyn-Dee, I said, look, we've had so many people on the show that are just flat out jacked up, excited about life. We put those 75 people together in a room. The energy is just explosive, and we are connecting people, and authors are meeting other radio show hosts like yourself, Ron, because you'll be there. You've been a guest on the TV show. Other TV shows will get booked. Entrepreneurs are going to do business together. I just love, love, love being in the energy of other like-minded people, so we are creating it.
Manifestation is so powerful when you truly understand that what you say, your words, your posture, and everything absolutely affects your past, your present, and your future. It's amazing. Ron, I watch you travel all around, and I'm watching you engage with like-minded people that have such great influence that no matter where you go, you are literally electrifying. You're sparking the world. Cami, I watch you do your FaceTime Lives, and you truly are a product of who you say you are. Anybody that is mentored by any of the three of us, I think that we'll all have to agree, you're in for a much pleasant journey. Absolutely a much pleasant journey. And I want to share with you that new is awesome. New is awesome. If you are constantly going to events and gatherings in your area because it's convenient, it's on the way home, I really encourage each and every one of you to stretch yourself out. Go outside of your comfort zone. If you want new in your life, you need to meet new people that are going to open up new doors. I was at an event in West Palm Beach, on the island of Palm Beach, a matter of fact. I met with a wonderful, wonderful woman, and this morning I got invited to her talk show that's called From the Hip, that is literally recorded on the island of Palm Beach. Now, I don't know about you, but if I wasn't willing to stretch and drive an hour out of my way and over the bridge, and hopefully, you know, I won't get in traffic because President Trump was on the island that day, I don't know when I would have ever met this wonderful angel that came into my life. So part of your living needs to be because you're willing to stretch yourself. If Cami Baker didn't pick up the phone when it was the heaviest many, many years ago to make a cold call when she was in real estate, her and I never would have met. If I wasn't willing to step out of my comfort zone and say, can we meet, then I'm not sure we would have met. And then Ron, because of Cami, think about the law of attraction. Because of Cami Baker, I was honored and blessed to meet you at an event in Boston, which has literally brought us into a whole new relationship. And it's beautiful. So that's what I encourage everybody to do. Even if you're confused on which way to go, just plant yourself where other entrepreneurs are that have what you want and become an amazing sponge of gratitude and be able to stick out your hand and shake other people's hands, because we're shakers and movers. So it's exciting to me. I mean, I couldn't be more thrilled, more excited about the upcoming event that Cami and I are putting together. It was her. You know, when you're dealing and you're asking to figure out what you're doing, all I could share with your audience is make sure that when you're a copycat that you are following the right cat. If you followed Cami Baker yesterday, you saw her getting ready to go out and find a sponsor for our appreciation party that we're having for the Happiness Jungle TV show. We are absolutely, oh my God, our cause is Bridges in Nashua, domestic violence. That's what the cause is. You watched Cami Baker wake up in the morning. Well, we didn't see her. We didn't see her really wake up and take her shower, but we did see her get in her car and share with us where she was headed. And when she got there, then she shared with us what the results were, because she was headed with purpose, and because of her connections of who knows who. See, she's an amazing leader and a mentor, because she does exactly what she said she's going to do. She does exactly what she teaches us to do. And she went out there, she played the who do you know game, she found the venue, she was offered an introduction, she met, she greeted, and she went ahead and she conquered. How fabulous. It's a win-win for everybody because Cami Baker is truly the mentor. So if you're looking to grow your businesses, to grow your personal life, to get out of that little stuck rut that you're in, watch the shakers and the movers of what they're doing. Cami Baker is brilliant at it. Ron, you are a master at it. So to me, I couldn't ask to be right now on a better platform with the both of you because there's nothing more that will expose who you are than the people that you hang out with and just show people what you're about. You don't have to talk a lot. We just have to show them. And it's wonderful. So I'm blessed.
Lyn-Dee, rather. I love it, and you're right on so many different levels. I'd like to go back to one of the first things you talked about was not just going to the convenient networking or net webbing events, because we all know that networking is random activity and it doesn't work, and Cami will enlighten us on that in a second. But so not just going to local events where there's free pizza or something, that's great, but you also need to, that's local, once or twice a week, then maybe regional at least once a month or certainly once regionally, and then nationally a couple of times a year. Get outside your comfort zone. Go to an event that's within your business, whatever your business is. There's plenty of events. In Orlando is the convention capital of the country. Who knew? I always thought it would be Las Vegas. But then there's a bunch in Las Vegas. There's a bunch in Miami. There's a bunch in San Diego. And you can also time it so you're going down there in the opposite months of our cold months and, confer with your tax person. But I believe it's all a tax write-off, or most of it, at least a business portion. So it's a pure win-win. You're getting to meet people. You're getting out of your comfort zone, but you're broadening your horizons. And so, Cami, can you enlighten us a little bit about how you'll never find a blue marlin in a fishbowl?
Well, I appreciate you mentioning that, Ron, and the fact is you are a blue marlin, and I did find you in a fishbowl, but boy, are they few and far between. And so my methodology, my madness, if you will, behind that statement is, when we are out, to the point of what we're talking about, not always going to free events, if you pay $75 to get into an event, guess what? Everybody else there paid $75 too, or I should say invested. Let me rephrase that. We invested $75 to be at that event. So immediately you have eliminated all the broke as a joke, looky-loo, people who are looking for free beer and free pizza. If someone's invested $75 to be there, they have qualified themselves as a person who's ready to invest. Now, if you take that to another level and it's an event that costs $500 or an investment of $2,000 or an investment of a plane ride and 3 days or 5 days, well, now imagine that instead of being in a room with people for an hour because it's convenient and free pizza, now everyone in the room is committed. They are invested. People who invest are invested. People who pay attention. And these are the kinds of people that we want to associate ourselves with because, at the end of the day, who are you playing with? What playgrounds do you want? And who are your playmates? And just to the point of what we're talking about, here's Lyn-Dee down in South Florida. She's just recently been relocating down there, and I have heard hundreds of people over the years, oh, well, I'm new to the area. Of course I don't know anybody. Business is tough for me. I don't know anybody yet. I've only been here a month, 6 months, a year, 6 years. All the excuses that people make, oh, my God, they're deafening. But the fact is, Lyn-Dee's only been in that area at this point for a month maybe, and she took it upon herself to get connected with the connectors. She is collaborating with the people. I mean, on that island, that is one of the richest islands in the world, some of the richest real estate. Donald Trump has a condo there. So the fact is, there is no excuse. There's no excuse for just sitting around and not making it happen. And if you've got your choice of spending $50 on dinner and a movie or $50 on going to an event where other people have invested $50, guess what's the better business decision? Guess which room you want to be in so that you, too, can start meeting people that have substance and quality. We want people who pay attention. People who are invested are invested. And so those blue marlins, a lot of the times, and, to what I talk about with cause marketing, part of that is people who are going to fundraisers, people who paid or invested $100 towards a charity to sit at a dinner function. I would much rather invest $100 to sit at a charity function with other people who invested $100 per seat than to spend an evening at a free event, because at the end of the day, it's not just the money we are investing, it is our time. And we can make more money, but we can't make more time. And if we're going to spend an hour and an hour going and an hour going home, et cetera, who do we want to be spending and investing our time with? That's really key as well.
Cami, I think that touches on two quick things, and then we're going to have to take a quick break. But and we'll be coming back right away with both of these lovely guests. But Dale Carnegie, one of the richest men in the world, certainly at the time when this comment was made, he was interviewed, and one of the questions was, if you were broke, if something happened tomorrow, what would you do to regain your wealth or to start over? He said, I would go get 3 jobs, I would save up $500, and I would go and I would find some connectors and some of the richest people around, and I would take them out to dinner, and I would spend the entire $500. And then they said, really? And then what happens? Because it was about spending quality time with quality people, and that's how he would get back up, by associating with people. And back when that was said, that was like in the 20s or something, and he was like, he had like $400 billion or something. If you use the way the money, the way that translates from today for what it was then, I mean, he dwarfs some of our richest people now. But his whole comment was, you go out there and you work your butt off, and then you find the connectors, the people who have been there and done that, and you build relationships with them. And we're going to take a break right now, and for 2 things I want to let you know, listeners, we'll be back with both Lyn-Dee and Cami Baker, and but this episode, as all episodes, is archived both on the radio station, WCAP 980.com, and rcstechnologysolutions.com. Just go to media and then radio station. So a lot of what you heard today, you can go back and listen to again. And so we'll be coming back right after this break. Good morning, listeners, and welcome back to the Internet Marketing and Business Solutions Radio Show with Ron Couming of RCS Technology Solutions, from RCS Technology Solutions, where we help business owners and entrepreneurs achieve even greater success by attracting, converting, and retaining their ideal customers and clients. Today, this is part 2, segment 2 of our 2-part interview with both Lyn-Dee Eldridge and Cami Baker. Lyn-Dee is the Chief Happiness Officer and founder of Happiness Jungle, and Cami Baker, who is now the co-host of the Happiness Jungle, also an author and a sought-after international speaker. In the first episode, and you can go back and listen to that via the archives, we basically just laid the groundwork and talked about what the Happiness Jungle is and the need for networking and stepping outside your comfort zone. In this part, I'd like to ask a few kind of specific questions and then move on from there, follow-up questions based upon the answers. So if we can, Lyn-Dee, I'd like to start with you, and I'd like to ask you, this might be 2 questions bundled together or the opposite of 1 question, but what do you do when your personal life is stressful, but you still have to make a living? And then the flip side of that would be, what do you do when your business life is stressful and you want to have a happy family? And Cami, when Lyn-Dee is done, if you could answer both of those as well.
That's a great question. And that goes right back to how to maintain a positive, productive posture while your cookies are crumbling. I have been through abusive relationships, co-parenting, step-parenting, single parenting, cancer, losses, financial stress, business stress. Those are called your cookies are crumbling. So somehow or another on your plate, there will be cookies that crumble. here's my suggestion of what I do to make sure that I'm always upbeat, positive, and present in the now moment. And this is it, guys. Control. You cannot do anything about things that are out of your control, so don't let it time-wise, time management-wise, fill your mind and your brain and make you stifle what you need to get done. If it's for your business and you have things going on in your personal life, if there's something going on that needs your immediate attention, then yes, grab onto it. Go ahead and take care of what needs to be done. But once you're done and it is out of your control and you're waiting for an answer or response or whatever, go ahead and just leave it alone. Put it back in the drawer until the drawer opens again. And then I need for you to go ahead and be present for your business so you're able to have the abundance that are going to create your lifestyle and your living. And never, ever take home your business challenges to your family and vice versa. I didn't say don't discuss it. I didn't say don't share your day. I said don't lose control over the control that you have. So while your cookies are crumbling, you can enjoy and understand and be solution-fied on how to take care of everything that's happening in your life. So that's how I remain happy. I have things that go on in my life. Cami, you have things that go on in your life. Ron, you got things that go on in your life. But we're learning how to have the habits of control, good control and bad control.
Yeah, and I think it's a process, Cami. If you can answer that question in a second, please, give you a chance to think. I think it's a process, though, so I want the listeners to know that, just because you hear us talking and we're giving you good suggestions, it is a process. We certainly have come a far way from where we are, but we certainly haven't mastered it. So, you go in waves. You get a lot of pressure, and it will spill over into your personal life and vice versa. But I love the way Lyn-Dee said you just have to learn to recognize it, control it, and not take it out. There's a difference between discussing pressures of business or work or entrepreneurship with family members and taking it out on them. So there's a huge difference. Cami, anything to add?
Ron, I have this whole phenomenal mentoring program, exactly how to be able to position yourself with a positive, productive posture. And it excites me because as people enter my mentoring program, they realize that there are absolutely alternative ways how to go ahead and adjust yourselves. And it is fabulous. I guess that is why I'm the Chief Happiness Officer of the Happiness Jungle, because just like you and Cami, I'm very authentic. And once you have a mentor that is walking you through the process of change, that's been through the process of change, you're in a great place.
Well, and just to piggyback off that, Lyn-Dee's been through divorce and cancer and taking care of an elderly parent all in 1 year. So it's like I always say, we don't want to hire a financial advisor that's broke. We don't want to fire a physical trainer that's having a cigarette and eating McDonald's. We want to hire people who are practicing what they preach.
I love it. And that's such a huge point. So important, especially for the business owners and entrepreneurs who are just starting out or people who have been in business and want to level up. There is a big difference between hiring a mentor and hiring a coach. And it's super important, in my humble opinion, to hire somebody and work with somebody who has been there and done that in the field or the endeavor that you want to go in, opposed to somebody who's read a few books or a few articles and has a certificate. I'm not downplaying the need for some industries to certification to weed out the frauds, but it's a world of difference when somebody's actually been through it, learned from it, and overcame it, than when somebody read it in a book and can give you answers from the back of the book that they also got. Lynn, Cami, you guys there?
Yep, we're here. I wasn't sure whether you were adding something else. And that you just said a true statement. I'm just going to piggyback and go, absolutely correct. If you're looking for help, understand that you need to speak with people that can help you. You know, it's so funny. In regards to our personal life, we've got a lot of singles out there. And, you know, there's another thing. When you go to business events and to other events where there's new like-minded people, even though there are hobbies, if you're single, you know what they always say? When you least expect it, it's going to happen. So you just never, ever know where your next friendship is going to start and where it's going to take you. I think that's hilarious. And I guess I got a little bit off track, but I share that because wherever we go, there is always opportunity to make us happier. There's always opportunity to make us happier. So I can't emphasize enough that when you are surrounding yourself with people that want to be happy, make sure your verbiage is clearly happy. How many times do we go to places and we're hearing people, they're supposed to be at a business mixer or an event mixer, and they're complaining? How many times do you hear, it was a long day, I didn't feel good today, I can't believe I got up, I got in traffic? Guys, that's what I'm talking about. Those are some of your cookies that are crumbling that need to be left outside your door because it serves no value, no purpose for you to be even saying the words because it's over, it's past, it's done, it's gone. Let's go ahead and enjoy, because when you're around and you're more contagiously infectious, people want to be around your energy. So there's a lot of people out there that don't understand. And Cami, I think you're going to agree with me, Ron, you as well, is that there are many business people out there. There are many single people out there. There are many people out there that can't figure out why isn't their lives changing. And it's all because they're not willing to create a new blueprint for a happier you, a happier them. And that's another mentoring program that I do in a group setting. But isn't that interesting that we all have the same tools to be able to create a happier us, but yet we're so stuck in our old patterns, and that's controlling us versus being able to sweep up those cookie crumbs and make a delicious mound of yumminess.
Yeah, and happiness, I have to agree with you that we all have things that happen in our lives, and we all have basically the same tools. So it's a lot of it is a matter of perspective. And it's not what happens to you, it's what you do with what happens to you. Am I correct?
100%. And Cami, you were traveling last year. You know, your world took a little bit of a spin. And here's a woman, okay, talk about authentic and transparent, right? Talk about a woman that's just going to get in her car, just sit in her car and say, this has got to change, and boom, she went ahead and took responsibility and takes action to bring her to where she is today. So how many people are just so stuck? And if you're doing things that you don't want to do, you need to do an evaluation, and you need to do process of elimination. Cami's good at helping you that. Ron, I've seen you help people through also their hard times
Lyn-Dee?
and their challenges.
Lyn-Dee? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Cool. Cami's back on the line now. Cami?
I am back on the line, but I didn't want to interrupt what she was just saying. Go ahead.
No, well, go ahead. Cami, I want you in the driver's seat because that's what you did in order to bring you back to where you wanted to be. That's powerful.
Well, thank you. And I just want to, talk about what you were saying about don't lose control over control. Because one of the things that we as entrepreneurs, to maintain a positive, posture when your cookies are crumbling, or, to keep ourselves motivated and happy in business and in personal life, we have to be able to stay in control of our emotions. And one of the best ways to do that is to have a coach or mentor, a direction, a plan, action steps. And so part of that is keeping in control of our control. Never let people see you sweat. As an entrepreneur, there's going to be ups and downs and a roller coaster ride. We can never let, our confidants, our best buddies, like, look, Lyn-Dee and I aren't always on top of the world. We're human beings. Things happen personally, physically, etc., and we console with one another in the time space that we need to do that. However, there is a certain amount of posture that we want to maintain in the marketplace. We never want to let people see us sweat. We always want to be maintaining our positioning. And so that would be my tip on, remaining happy both in business and professional life. Because at the end of the day, no matter what's going on, illness, death, a slowdown in the economy of our business, we never want to let people know that because we're still doing business. And if we let people see us sweat, our business is going to suffer because of it. So we always want to just maintain that. And one of the things I talk about with my clients is the positioning in the marketplace. So even when you're having a bad day, you don't want to look that way when you're doing a Facebook Live or when you're sending someone an email or when you're having a conversation with a client. You just don't want to bring that into your business life at all. And, of course, not into your personal life. As we were talking about earlier, don't take it out on your family members. We need to understand we don't have control over people, places, and things. The only thing we have control over is ourselves, our attitudes, and our own actions. So put on our big girl panties and our big boy underoos and stay in control of our emotions about what's going on so that the personal people around us and our business life is not affected by it.
I love it, and that is so important because it can spill over, and then it really just it takes on a life of its own. Lyn-Dee, we have about 10 minutes left, so maybe 13 minutes left. And what I'd like to do is to ask both you and Cami a question that I ask almost all my guests, and it might be the same answer for all three levels that I'm going to ask you about. But if you could give me 1 to 3 tips for each level that I'm going to give you on what they could do to recognize the stressfulness of whatever situation is, and then just remain happy, choose to be happy, or choose to handle the stress in such a way that it's not going to be detrimental to their business ventures now and in the future, and then also how it's not going to be detrimental to their relationships now and in the future. So the first question is somebody who's just starting out in business. Maybe they have a job and they're thinking about quitting, or they have quit and they're just going to start out in business. The second level is somebody who's been in business for 18 to 24 months or so. They've overcome some trials and tribulations. They're actually starting to be cash flow positive, and what can we help them with to get it to the next level? And then the third person, section of persons would be somebody who's been in business for 5 years or so. How can we help them get to the next level? And that's both for you and Cami.
I am going to answer all three levels with the same answer because I believe 100%, because I am a product of it, that when we go back to the basics of when we started our businesses and we were looking to thrive and survive and be present, that we were growing. It's sometimes when we continue to do our business that we start getting our ego and our pride that are holding us and lifting us up, and we're forgetting that our feet need to always be planted because we don't know from one day to the next when things are going to change. So my first suggestion is always to pause and really, really think about what it is that you want. End in mind, what is it that you want? And I today start my day every day with, at the end of the day, what is it that I'm looking to accomplish? That's number one. Number two is I stand outside of my body. Now listen to this one, because I think this is pretty powerful. When you could look into a situation versus being a part of a situation, it gives you a whole different perspective because you're not taking it personally. And you're able to say, if this was not me, because you know how some things we handle them, and when we're involved in it, we completely are doing something different than what we said we would do or treat it, only because it's us that's in it. So what I highly recommend for people to do what I do is pause, look at every situation, what is the end in mind, step outside of your shell, look at the bigger picture for better change. And number 3, always be grateful. Always have gratitude, appreciation, smile, a good, healthy attitude, so your days will always be connected with positive, joyful prosperity. That's my tips.
Excellent. Cami?
Well, if you're brand new, I suggest that you get guidance immediately. Do not take 3, 6, 10 years to figure out the basics. Get somebody to help you now. The simplest things, like how to have the right business card, the right handshake, how to introduce yourself, how to actually follow up and follow through, how to actually have a business posture so that people take you seriously now, not in a few years. I see people out all the time that are brand new that just struggle with this. They're explaining themselves. They're almost apologizing for what they're doing. Well, I used to be in corporate for 25 years, but now I'm a consultant in IT. And they say it like they're embarrassed or they're not sure or they're apologizing for it. So get guidance from someone who's been there and done that so that they can help you figure this thing out in the next 6 months to a year, as opposed to you struggling for 6 to 10 years as a brand new person. And to keep on moving forward with it, I do everything in 3s. So for the person who's at 18 to 24 months, I always talk about setting intention, paying attention, and creating retention. So now that you've created a business, when you are out networking, when you're meeting people, when you're wanting to collaborate, when you're wanting to get on stages perhaps, maybe be seen as the authority and the incredible expert, like being on a radio show and TV and things like that, really pay attention to how you're being seen. How are you postured? Not only in what you're wearing and what you're saying, but who are you being? Who are you being in the moment? Do people want to do business with you just because of the energy that you're putting off? And then for people who are 5 years and more, this is really when cause marketing can step in to the picture. This is really a leg up yoga move. Cause marketing isn't really for somebody who's brand new, who's trying to get started. This is more for somebody who's been successful. They've already got a certain structure in place. Their business is already solid, and now they're wanting to be an influence in the community, have an impact in the marketplace, and also to create more income. So making a difference while making money by supporting a cause. So when people are 5 years or more in business, I work with entrepreneurs that are visionary or businesses that are multi-million dollars. When they are really wanting to create community culture in their company, when they are wanting the community and the world as a whole to see them as a socially responsible business, to take on cause marketing is really, really powerful because it gives you a whole new way to introduce yourself, to be seen, to engage, to talk to people. Because when you're talking about something outside of your business and outside of your company, something that you're passionate about, people can pick up on that. They love your energy. They want to be around you, and they naturally just want to do business with you. And what I was showing yesterday on the Facebook Live that Lyn-Dee mentioned is exactly that. In that 3-hour period, I was able to go out and talk to people in a totally different kind of way, had nothing to do with my business card or my business, had to do with helping a cause. And I was so passionate about it that people are naturally already setting up appointments with me to do business with me because they just want a little bit of what I got going on. So cause marketing for people who are solid in their business.
Excellent. And 2 quick things before we wrap up. We're down to 7 minutes or so, 6 minutes to be safe. I wanted to say to the listeners, you've really had some gems here in terms of advice. One huge thing is happiness and just having some balance, some peace in mind and peace in your soul is really a matter of perspective. We all have all sorts of trials and tribulations, and I highly recommend that you seek out both of these wonderful people, Lyn-Dee Eldridge and Cami Baker, to utilize some of their techniques and services. So that's one thing. The other thing is, we talk a lot about getting outside your comfort zone and going to paid events, both locally, regionally, and nationally. That is priceless information. I mean, people pay us hundreds of dollars an hour for this. We do this radio station because Sam's such a great guy. We do it for free, and we give this free. We don't get paid to do this. The guests don't get paid to come on. The station owner does this is to give back to the community, and so it's really great. So, and Cami, you just touched on the cause-based marketing, and I'd love to talk about that for the next couple of minutes. Give a shout-out to the restaurant out in New Hampshire that's donating their space and giving us food for free for this event.
Yeah, Cucini Toscana is in Nashua at 427 Amherst Street, and the owner there, Felix. Now, see, here's the guy who's been in business exactly on point. 13, 14 years he's been in that location, and he's got a great following already, but he wants to give back to the community. He wants to be seen as someone who is doing good. He just didn't know how. He didn't know what to do exactly. So when I was introduced to him yesterday, within 15 minutes, a friend of mine introduced me to him over the phone. I walked into his business. I put my hands on him, shook hands, gave him a hug, told him what we were doing, explained to him about Bridges, explained to him about how the whole community understands that this is a really, really big problem, domestic violence, and that when he and his restaurant can be a part of this, that it's really going to benefit him and the 75, business owners and entrepreneurs and movers and shakers that are going to be there for the event. He understood it. He got it. He wanted to do something like this. He just didn't know how. So I'm helping him basically do a cause marketing campaign so that now he's actually got a box in the lobby of the hotel of the restaurant there, where people can now start to donate things that Bridges needs, like diapers and baby formula and canned food and toiletries and paper products. So now he can go ahead and start talking to other people in his plaza that have known him for 15 years, but he didn't really know how to exactly talk to them about business and stuff. He can go over and talk to them and say, hey, do you guys want to put some stuff in the box? He can talk to his vendors. He's already talking to his vendors about donating stuff. It just helps him to be seen in a different way, and it gives him a reason to have social media following what we're doing, et cetera, et cetera. So cause marketing is really for people who want to have an impact in the community and create income at the same time.
I love it. And can we, Lyn-Dee, can you tell us a little bit about Bridges or Cami so we're down to like 2 minutes and I have to close the show out, so it needs to be brief, but I want people to understand. You mentioned Bridges, but what is Bridges?
Sure. Bridges is a domestic violence support system center in Nashua, New Hampshire. My first book, Tears of Fears Behind Closed Doors, you can get that on Amazon, is my story of how I was raised for the first 26 years of my life and married into a very abusive relationship. I was raised in an abusive home, and the happy ending is that I share all of the tips and great awareness of how to get out safely from domestic violence. So my passion is to give back to our domestic violence community and make sure that the women and even the men and the children are safe and have what they need. So that's our cause is for Bridges of Nashua, New Hampshire. I couldn't be more excited about this. And again, I want to go out to my business partner, my guest host for the Happiness Jungle TV show, and say, Cami, thank you so much for doing the legwork, the footwork, finding Felix, finding our venue, finding our sponsor, and being the most amazing woman who is so inspiring and transparent. And Ron, I'll just go ahead and I'll say thank you so much for being who you are and allowing us to come on your platform and share what we know to be true, which is to be transparently, authentically happy. So thank you very much.
Excellent. I can hear the music in the background, too. Thank you. You've been listening to both Lyn-Dee Eldridge and Cami Baker, and this is on the Internet Marketing and Business Solutions radio show with Ron Couming of RCS Technology Solutions, where we help business owners and entrepreneurs achieve even greater success by attracting, converting, and retaining their ideal customers and clients. Have a great week, everyone. Check it out. Truth or consequence.
Republican Jeff Flake.
Jeff Flake, another Republican who has said